road is so cold and grows every night. You walk alone. The longest still is the weight of parents who may never know. Don't you walk alone, don't you stray from home. God only knows just who is waiting. Don't you raise your voice, don't make any noise. What a scary choice to be employed. We're afraid of everyone, we'll know whatever come and save us, save us. Well, when they say clean up, I don't know how they can enslave us, erase us. I'll just wait here, someone...
Welcome to the Clashuals podcast, episode 6, season 2. How's it going, Big B?
Man, I've been busy. I mean, I feel like I always come on here and say I'm busy, but it's a good thing, right?
Yeah, I
Right?
haven't, but yeah. You've
I
been setting
guess.
up the Pod Wars, getting all that set up, which we'll talk about later.
Man, I feel so good that I've stopped procrastinating. Like I usually like one of my favorite things is if you wait till the last minute to do it, it only takes a minute to do it.
Yeah,
So but I'm glad I did. I haven't put off doing that any longer. Plus, keep some of the shade out of off of us, off our backs. Actually following through on something for a change.
oh, we don't need the bot because there's only 2 of us.
And then planning our own event. Man, did you ever think that you would be like planning and hosting, or at least co-hosting your own event, Adams?
I mean, if it wasn't for you, it probably wouldn't be an event. It'd be just me just getting a bunch of people in random clans. If it was just me doing it, I'd be like, yeah, here's a new intro, and then I'll just write down everyone. I don't like that Google Docs thing. I just write it down, and then because everyone shows it on like the computer, like the who's going against who is like, I don't know how to do that, and I don't want to learn right now because I'm trying to learn my editing software. So I'm glad you did that sign up sheet and all that because I would have not done as great.
Well, I learned Google Docs to do it. I mean, I've known of Google Docs. I've just never,
Uh-huh.
I don't know, I've never been where I like needed to use them, but I wanted to use them for this, so I was like, all right, let me just get on Google and search. I upload a document, and then boom, here we go.
Ah, it looks great. I'm glad you did it.
Yeah, and so far so good. We've got so I think we've got everything set as far as that's gonna go. I know we're gonna talk a lot about it later, but I think just generally speaking, hosting your own event, it's a little nerve wracking, right?
Yeah.
I was worried about people gonna judge the quality of your event or the thoughtfulness you put into it, and I've tried to be thoughtful and. I want something that's legitimately going to be enjoyable for the people that participate.
Yep.
And I want it to be funny and entertaining for the people who watch it too. This is a game, and there's plenty of competitiveness in it. I'm sure there will be some people that participate that'll go really try hard on it. But I hope everyone can watch it and just kind of enjoy it from a different lens. Most of the time playing this game, people want to be so respectful of each other, right? Like, oh man, you did your best. Like, hey, it was a good try. Man, that was just unlucky. GG, man. You good try, right? And I think there's plenty of legitimate toxicity in this game.
Yeah.
We
There's a
want to
lot.
have some lighthearted toxicity.
Yeah.
and that we want to make fun of when the game doesn't work right. Because I think from our both personal experiences, that's more what we experience on a daily basis. Like, just
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, I spend so much time thinking about stuff around the game, like, and sometimes I really feel like I should be a little better at it than I am.
Right.
But I like to just chalk it up to, man, this is the game being the game, and I hope that's what our event shows. Is like, here's a bunch of people who are really into the game, who really enjoy it, who are, you're not gonna pull up and see them in Worlds, likely. I mean, I take it back. There's a couple people who are probably going to participate who might one day be in a world's competition, but most of us are not.
Yeah.
And even the ones that are, really good, we're going to do our best to try to mess them up. Like, what can we say in their ears to mess them up? And that's
Well,
going to be fun. But all that to say, yeah, we've done a lot of work recently. We've got our logo updated. I tried to make a real crude one the other night, sometime last week. Yeah, it was okay. Steve hated it, but you know,
we'll
Steve's
talk
a
about him
hater.
later too.
But you know, I wanted one better, and luckily for us, a shout out to Animal over in the AO Hub server. He does a lot of their graphic designs. Actually, he and another guy are both working on it. And they're both really, really good graphic artists.
Isn't it Wolf?
But shout out to him. I sent him I opened a ticket over there. Said, hey, and see if you got any idea for the graphics. And he was like, yeah, just tell me what you want. And I said, you know, I'm not really sure. I like the idea of having, you know, the logo with the microphone. I said, I'd love to include the party warden because he's got a microphone, and that's essentially what we're doing, right? We're talking into microphones. That's what everyone associated in this war, except for Fatal, does, is they talk into microphones. And I said that would be cool to incorporate, you know. But this is just, you know, I sent him kind of the rough draft, and man, within a day, he sent me a logo. He was like, "What do you think about this?" I'm like, "That's awesome." And then I doubled down and was like, "Hey, can you make a like background, a scenery for a Twitch stream?" And he was like, "Yeah, no problem." I go, "I don't need it right away, but just, you know, when you get a chance." And he sent it to me over yesterday, and we were working around with it, trying to get our layout, and I think it's gonna look pretty.
Yeah, I still need
sweet.
to do that with my OBS. Make it my own little Pod Wars sections like you
You
did.
know, I need to just send you the what he sent me. I can just forward it to you, and but I mean, it's gonna look like a really well done stream, and no one's gonna know that we have no idea what we're doing. Right? We're gonna play that shit off. So you know, that's kind of exciting. I'm glad we got all that done. I finally got all the, I got most of the invites sent out. I got posts up on all my social media accounts to kind of to advertise for it. If I had to do it, I mean, that poster that we made.
Yeah.
I wish I had put in the prizes on that.
Oh yeah, that bring people more into it. Yeah, that makes sense.
Because you listen, there's gonna be some people that are gonna tune in just for that, and I'm fine. I'm perfectly fine with that. That's quite frankly, some of them don't even like what we're doing. I'm fine as long as we get the viewer numbers.
Right. They're just gonna come in for that jackpot or try to get the jackpot. Yeah.
But I was looking, like, I posted a there's a Big B.70 TikTok account, which in its entire existence has posted one video, and that one video was 2 days ago when I posted the poster for the Pod Wars with some music behind it, and I posted that morning, and then I went off to work, and then that evening, so probably about 10, 11, 12 hours later, I pulled it up to look at it, and it had been seen by almost 900 people.
Holy shit!
And I don't even have that many connections, Adams.
That's impressive for your first video. Yeah. Like, not like it's not the Clashuals podcast TikTok that we don't touch.
Oh God, we have that. I need to.
Yeah,
I'm glad you just reminded me.
Because there's so many people. I get a lot of DMs and like just mentions like, "Oh, you guys should do shorts on TikTok." It's like, bro, I could do that, but for me, even if I had AI would cut it down to stupid parts. I guess I could take like one good part where we argue or something and put that up, but no one's gonna want that. They want the whole like part says like we could, but it'd be something different.
Well, you know, Adams, you know your hero Bert Kreischer, or Chrysler, as you like to call him. You know, he does, like, there's all sorts of clips of his podcast on TikTok, but it's just like 15, 20, 30-second clips of like funny stuff, or, you know, like him laughing hysterically and can't stop it, right? Like, that's, most of them are like, look at Bert's reaction, like how he almost stops breathing because he's laughing so hard.
So what you're saying would be clips of me mispronouncing words or saying stupid shit.
I mean, it could be both of us. It would just be stupid shit we say. But I think, yeah,
I'll use my editing skills more on that.
Just listen, just grab a 15, 20-second clip here and there. Whenever we got like a hot take, whenever one of us gets really mad and we're like, you know what, fuck this game, or we're like, you know what, you just screw this. This is a hot take coming in. You just clip it,
Post it on
post
there.
on TikTok, and then all of a sudden, yeah, because TikTok's the algorithm baby. That's where the numbers are. That's
Well,
where all the
hey,
kiddos are at. That's what they
then
want to.
eventually we could just stream this on Twitch and on TikTok because you can do that apparently
Yeah,
somehow.
yeah. We just got to have a certain number of viewers to do it on TikTok.
You have to have 1,000 followers, I think.
Yeah, they would do TikTok live.
The
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
only bad thing about TikTok, it's vertical instead of horizontal.
We'll figure it out.
They're on the
All
phone.
right, if we have to do that, then we have to reorient our screen. And
Just pretend. So it's
yeah, I guess we're gonna have to answer finally the question. Adams, are you a top or are you a bottom?
whatever you're comfortable with. I'll do all the work if I have
Because I'm a top. All right, cool.
There you go. I'll just lay there and just take me.
For TikTok, everyone, we had to
Yeah.
figure that out for TikTok. Okay,
That's gonna be our first clip.
Yeah.
All right, you ready to get into some? Oh, by the way, before we get into the topics, last night I was streaming my Legends hit, you know, that I rarely do, and I got I got 4 3-stars with the Free the Nip army, boy.
What?
There was only one base that was like didn't have max defenses, but it still had the monolith, so I still count it as it being a full bone 15. But yeah, and I went to trample damage. Discord's like, yo, trample. I got an interesting attack to show you. Sent all 4 to him. Sent one to Sir Moose because he's the YouTuber on.
Yeah.
He has a friendly clan. Like if you have an interesting attack, you can send it. So I sent it to him. So hopefully you get to see CF9 in one of those.
You think if Sermus, because I know he does videos like that over all sorts of army comps. Do you think if he likes it enough, do you think he would be comfortable calling it the Free the Nip army?
I didn't call it that because I knew he wouldn't call it that. But I just said I called this the CF9 army. I know, but again, he's on YouTube. I don't think he's going to be comfortable with calling that. So I gave it a family friendly name. Okay, it's not.
I mean, nipples are not. No, that's not a bad word. Everyone's got them.
True.
I have nipples, Greg. Can you milk me?
You said you had a sister and you milked her cat. And it just sits back and takes a drink. I watched those before. Bro, the branding.
So are you using the same comp that you did before?
Yeah, but I'm instead of like the CC having like a Yeti and a E Titan, it's either Super Archers or Super Minion.
Superman. I saw a lot of Super Minion blimps in the wars today and yesterday too.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest with you. I tried real hard, especially as they've nerfed things about the Super Archer blimp.
Yeah.
And where we've been concerned that it was just not gonna be viable. It's ended up not happening. But during one of those times of panic, I tried hardcore testing Super Minion blimps, and God, I sucked at it. Like for whatever reason. And I know, like, when I watch the pros do it, they've got very precise placing on where they're putting invisibility spells.
Yeah.
I ain't got that. Like
Right.
my fingers, like I'm in the general area, but if it needs to be too precise, it's not good. It's the same reason why my blizzards rarely get all that they're supposed to get. Like they get good value, I think, for the most part. But that whole thing of like anticipating, like, all right, that building goes down. What's the next one they're going to target? And then where do you really need to drop that invisibility so that they're just seeing the closest building that you need them to hit and not the other ones? And inevitably, I always get the placement just a little bit off. Like just enough off to where they'll go running and be not invisible anymore, and the scatter shot will splatter them in one shot.
I got you.
That's about 50% of my blizzards.
Funny,
I used to worry about like dropping it on like giant bombs. I don't really like worry about that anymore. It's just the invisibility spells mess me up. Anyway, so clone the Super Minion clone blimp.
It's the Free the Nip is better with a Super Arch because depending on where I've got it, I get like Town Hall, the CC, a couple Infernos, and a scatter. I'm like, let's go, because I'm using ground troops, so the scatter's gonna completely destroy them. And if you get lucky enough, without, because there's no lava hound or anything to protect the blimp. You either have to send it with your full army and activate the warden way too early to just protect the blimp to get the percentage, or you get lucky, you see a little hole, you expose it, just boop, boop, and just completely destroyed it. So, yeah, if you, I've shared one in Crystal to Join.
So there's a lot of those Sarge blimp openings now, especially on some of those toxic box bases.
Yeah,
Where they're just sending it into the sweepers from the opposite side of the town hall, letting the sweepers hit it, and they're not going to drop it to where it's going to hit the town hall, but it basically clears out every other big defense on that side of the base. You get Eagle, you get all the sometimes you get the scatters, but you always get like Expos and Infernos. Like you wipe those off from the other side, and then you almost got like the base, like it's carved into a U, and the town hall is right in the middle of that U, and you just start at one side of the U and work your way around the horseshoe.
Yep. But I've been having fun perfecting that army comp that I made out of nowhere.
Free the nips. Hashtag free the nips.
Go on Twitter, spread it. All right. You ready to get into some of these topics we got, buddy?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so the first one is a United player for the Worlds faked a passport in order to get past, what was it, like stage 3 they made it to or something like that?
Well, yeah, to get out of stage 1 and into stage 2, you had to verify that you had a passport.
I don't know how he did that. Like,
he's sneaky
why?
little devil.
Why? Like, what's the point? Like, if you win, then and you go to Worlds, you can't because you don't have a passport. So you just fucked your whole team over. It makes no fucking sense.
Yeah, I'm so there is one benefit to doing that. And it's just that at the stage we're at right now, where there's 4 teams that have already got their golden tickets, and in the World Qualifier tournament that they're hosting, that they just did the second half of stage 3 today, they've whittled down the remaining teams needing to qualify to just the final 16.
Mm-hmm.
Once you're in that final 16, you've actually earned money in the tournament. Like, I think 20th and 19th place, I think they get like a couple $1,000.
Okay.
Just for getting this far. And if you don't have a passport, you're not even eligible to win anything. So my guess is that United player who, first off, let's talk about the idiocy of the passport requirement with regards to this, right?
Yeah.
Because Supercell's plan was to verify passports in order to prevent stuff like this from happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
To prevent a United Gaming team who doesn't actually have a full roster that can actually travel to Helsinki. It's to prevent them from actually getting further along in the tournament and potentially eliminating teams that could get that far.
Yeah.
Right? Circumventing that, of course, is, I mean, it's kind of productive, but kind of to the point that you were talking about earlier, Adams. What if they do really good next weekend? What if they do really good the next weekend? You know, what if they do? What if on October 14th they're qualifying? Oh, by the way, right about the time that the Pod Wars is starting at 11 a.m. Central Time on October 14th. But what if they're qualifying in one of those final qualifier positions to go to Helsinki, and then they can't? I don't know what the steps were to actually verify. Like, think about this, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've got an account on Clash of Clans. Does Supercell really have any idea who I actually am, other than I'm just, someone's logging in from this device constantly playing this game?
Right.
As far as like my information, they don't know. So if a Big B.70 account, qualifies for something, they say, all right, player owning Big B.70's account, send us information showing you had a passport. How do they know? How would they know or verify that that's actually the person that owns it?
That's a good point. Like,
I mean, other than getting, this far down the road and finding out. But, I mean, hopefully there's more security or more safeguards in that to help verify. But I don't think there is, because otherwise I don't know how this guy's just faking that he's got a passport. And what's funny, have you seen, Adam, did you see like the pictures of like, so this team and like their normal team picture, like this guy, the reason I don't think he has a passport, I think he's like 16 or something like that.
Uh, I saw the one that was posted that Fatal shared that had like cheater over his face, so I couldn't actually see his picture thing.
I
And
thought there was one where like it had their team picture and he was like a teenager. It probably wasn't even old enough to qualify. And then in their updated team photo to have someone that looks who more closely resembles the person whose passport information they sent in, all of a sudden it's this old dude. And it's like the guy looks like he's 46. The other kid looks like he's 16.
try
Come
to
on.
play it off.
It's not even close. It's like, what's his name? McLovin? Is that what are you trying to be like an Irish R&B singer? What are you doing?
Right? I just find
That,
it hilarious.
how funny would it be if his in-game name was McLovin
Right?
and he's trying to get qualified with a fake ID? That would
That would have
God,
been hilarious. That would have been
would
the,
just be perfect.
just for the memes. That would have been hilarious. I would have been like, I'm fine with it just because that's on point. But you know, hey, maybe he needs to change his name to it just for that point exactly.
So consider this though: if the whole knowing that if he doesn't actually have a passport,
Hmm.
if they end up as one of the 8 qualifiers to go to Helsinki, the moment that they start to coordinate with Supercell, oh, okay, here's your travel. Like, here's your travel for this guy. And the second that they can't show up, then they're just disqualified, right? Disqualified out of the tournament?
Yeah, I would assume so, unless they
Okay.
find some dude to replace him that has a passport. I guess. I'm not
But
sure.
they couldn't do that without sharing his account, and that would be against TOS. It's not like he could just hand a cell phone off to
Right?
the guy that actually is 46 years old and say, hey, fly to Helsinki and play for me.
It's just
Plus,
his grandpa there while he's narrating where to put shit.
God, wouldn't that, God, if he was, like, if his grandpa, like, showed up to, like, play for him, like, all right, you got to do your text live on stage now, and grandpa's up there, he's like, well, what should I attack with? Like, oh, he's like, I'm just going to train a whole bunch of these electro dragons and throw them around and see how that goes.
That'd be
Here's
some old dude with a
qualifying-
cane goes up there like can barely walk and
Yeah.
puts on his headphones, can like, what am I doing? Oh, and you just see him like slowly placing like one E drag, like
He's like, he's instead of a phone, like he's got this huge tablet, and like
right.
he gets out his bifocals and puts them on, and like like his hands shaking as he's like trying to press stuff. Like,
They
don't
gotta
worry,
give him
Grandpa,
a
if you do really good, we win $100,000.
Right.
Okay.
They give
All
him.
right, I'll do my
They
best.
just give him a pin to tap on it instead of using his fingers. So
He's got a stylus.
his stylus. That'd be. I'd laugh. I'd go to Worlds just for that. I'd find a way to get my passport and just for that. I'd sell all my shit and be like, I want to go just to see the old dude attack.
Grandpa's up on stage.
We got Grandpapa. But
Like,
anyway,
that's funny. His passport said he was.
I think it's crazy to go to that lengths. I know they could get money if they hit a certain stage, but it's like, but to really fake a passport and f over your whole team just to possibly get some money is kind of fucked up. But yeah,
So what the play here for that team, for United, I'm gonna keep saying their name over and over again in case anyone forgets who they are. If that United team, which is in the final 16 of this last qualifier, their game plan has to be to earn as much money without qualifying.
yeah,
Like if they get to the next stage and they're like, all right, it's another Swiss stage and 3 wins and you're in, and 3 losses and you're out. And if they get 2 wins right away and like they're 2-0, you better believe that they're going to be tanking, because if they finish any higher than that, if they finish, I mean, I think they can get through the next weekend because we're down to 16 teams, so then it'll be down to 8, and then the final 4 go. So if they're in that final 8, so not now, but 2 weekends from now, on October 14th, same day that we're hosting the Pod Wars, on that day, if they finish of those final 8 for the qualifiers, if they finish better than 5th, then everyone's going to find out that they don't actually have players with passports. So their goal's got to be to finish 5th in that final day, to earn as much money without ever actually having to leave their home and prove who they actually are.
yeah, that makes sense.
this is Adams.
You're smarter than me, so yeah, that makes sense.
For as long as you've been watching like competitive Clash,
It's just the moral side of me. It just makes no sense.
but think about this though. The whole drama around someone faking a passport, right? Like it, and remembering like this is a game that like the people are like trying to hack each other's accounts and
Oh
steal
yeah, yeah.
accounts so they can sell them, and there's like this whole black market of selling games, and the game is like rooted in some of the most creative ways of cheating. People modding, people playing on private servers to like win wars, like going to great lengths to win at a game to prove I don't know, you're better at tapping the screen
Right.
than other people are. But is someone lying about having a passport, pretending that they're like a 48-year-old man when they're really 16? Is that not actually like the most on brand Clash of Clans scandal to happen? Like,
Pretty
should
much.
we have expected anything less from this game?
I'm honestly, since Fatal told us about it, I'm surprised we have had a few more people like, oh, that's a fake passport. That's a fake this. It's like it would have been funny if like a whole team had all fake passports or something and made it to the final five. But
I mean, at this point, and honestly, would you even be surprised?
no, but it'd be funny.
Like, let's say next Saturday we're getting up to watch stage 4, and they wake up and they're like, "Oh, by the way, whoever it was that was previously qualified, they're actually not going to be participating today. They've been disqualified because they none of their players actually had passports, or this entire team was made up of people who are all 14 years old." I wouldn't be. I wouldn't. I mean, at this point, I wouldn't be shocked.
It'd just be content at that point.
It's got to be like this has got to be one of the worst games for cheating. I mean,
Oh yeah.
it's just like other games, and I don't watch other esports that much. So I guess I wouldn't know, but I
Well,
feel like, man, this has got to be like one of the most cheatingest games there could ever be in a competitive standpoint.
yeah. I feel like with Clash, especially with the whole buying and it's against TOS to buy accounts, there has to be a way for them to fix that. Make it like if you really want to sell your account, maybe Supercell can open a store like, hey, we have this town hall for sale. You can buy it, and there you go. Instead of, oh, you bought this account, you're fucked. Like, I get a lot of people are mad. People don't want to put that much time in the game. But if you have 10,000 people that want to play the game but don't want to start at Town Hall 1 and make their way up, what's wrong with them legally, not illegally, buying a Town Hall 15? Like, say their friend has an iPad that has his account on it, and he's like, yeah, my Clash of Clans is a max Town Hall 15. I know you want to play it, but buy my iPad or this device for $100, and then boom. Is that still technically buying the account? No, it's buying the device, but the device still has his account on it. I'm just giving people ways to go around
I mean,
TOS.
we can ask Darian for clarification, but I think that's also sharing
Yeah.
accounts.
But you're telling me pros don't share accounts?
I mean, no, I've never heard of any pros doing that before.
No, I've never heard
Ever.
anything.
We've certainly never talked about that happening Jesus, on this podcast before. So, the thing about this too, right? Like, do you remember? I was just thinking about this other day
Uh-huh.
when I think about just people cheating to qualify for Worlds. And I get it. There's some money involved, right? But I remember a couple of years ago. This is probably 4 or 5 years ago. I was on Reddit and I was actually reading through Clash. Normally, I just scroll through for the memes because I'm a slow reader, so I don't read. I'm not the person who just sit and just read Reddit all day, right? Like it's got to be short clips. Like otherwise it's not my jam. I told you earlier, I watch the Clash of Clans leaks page more than I do the actual Clash of Clans one because that one's usually just pictures. So pictures and colors and squirrel. Um, but years ago, I remember reading there was some discussion and someone was talking about win trading that goes on in Legends League, like to be at the top, and people that were like paying money to be at the top of this leaderboard. And I remember thinking like, why? Why? Like, okay, would it be cool to be like, oh yeah, Big B's number one in the world? Yeah, that'd be really cool if I earned it.
Yeah.
If I truly was like, man, I'm the best player in this game this month in the entire world. But like people like paying, and not just like little sums of money, like a lot of money. Be like, hey, yeah, if you are doing your legends attacks and you come across me, I'll give you 100, $150 to $200 if you'll just not attack, if you'll just disconnect and let me save the trophies. Like, I remember reading that years ago and thinking, my God, why? Why?
that that's a lot of money just to. I mean, the person that gets an offer, like, okay, drop one troop and just surrender. They get the trophies. You get $200
Oh
in your
yeah.
pocket. But
Well, and then like don't get me wrong. Like I'm happy for the guys that get up there that like get money for trophy pushing. That like
Mhm.
they join a clan so that clan can be number one ranked in the world, right? Like doing that and going into a push like an end of season push clan for that and getting money that way. Like I'm all for it. Like if you can earn money playing, absolutely. But the whole win trading and like going so far out of your way to cheat. We've talked about like the people modding wars,
yeah,
right? Like going out and trying to end other clans' win streaks, and not legitimately doing it by cheating in the game. And why? Why? What?
yeah.
Why is anything in this game that important? You
Well,
know?
you can ask that about any game. Like people cheat in Call of Duty. Like why? And then even streamers cheat, and then they show their cheats on stream, and then they fake. Sorry, they somehow come up with a stupid lie, like, "Oh, someone downloaded this for me." He's like, "No, you're a cheater. You suck at the game. You're just trying to prove to your fans that you're real." It's like, just be you. Play the game. You suck. You suck. Practice. You still suck after practicing. Fucking own that shit. I'm the 2-star champ, still, and I'm gonna own that shit till the day I die.
Okay, but let me play devil's advocate for just a little bit. Okay,
Okay.
if it's for like a stream, right? Like if you've got a brand or a channel or something like that, and it's better for business if you're better at the game, I can almost understand why you're cheating. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm
Yeah.
not saying that it's right, but I can also understand why you're
Yeah.
cheating. Um, but like the nobodies out there who are like wanting to have their name at the top of the world leaderboard,
Never happened.
why?
Yeah. The
Why?
only way you're
Why?
gonna
Why
get
is it so important to see? You know,
your name up
you know,
there for 1 month.
yeah.
Yeah. It's like great, you might get a glimpse of Eric or someone trying to look at like where Klaus and stuff are in the world, but they're not gonna point you out because you're a nobody unless you're in a competitive team, you've been to worlds or you've been a part of the esports. There's no way they're gonna give a shit about a nobody being number one.
It's like the cheatingest game of all
And
time.
it's just a
Clash
waste
of
of
Clans.
money. You might as well just put it into your account and upgrade some shit, or buy some gyms and donate troops to your homies instead of wasting your money on, oh, don't attack me if you're in Legend. You come across me.
I do think, since we're talking about this, came up with the idea of someone lying about their passport in order to qualify for worlds or
Mm-hmm.
get further in the world's qualifier tournaments. I do think one of the topics that we mentioned a couple pods ago around a different platform for competitive play,
Yeah.
to where it didn't matter what you did in your main village in this competitive play platform, everyone was just maxed at whatever the top town hall was. That way, you guarantee that all the competition is even, right?
Mm-hmm.
Having someone doesn't have an easy draw because they're hitting someone that doesn't have everything upgraded than someone else. It's a level playing platform, but also, um, you know, the game that we play that's fun, that's not as serious, it can actually be for that,
Yeah.
and not the competitive side of it. And then, as far as like buying accounts and selling accounts, or sharing accounts, I kind of think if people aren't doing it for competitive purpose, like a hardcore competitive purpose, they're probably going to cut a good part of it out, right?
Yeah.
And then with the other side of that is, if your game, if the competitive part, if where people are actually playing for money, there's actual monetary value on the line for winning and losing.
Uh huh.
If that's all done in a different platform, then doesn't that take some of the sting out of people being able to legitimately sell and buy or trade their own accounts? I mean, I know there's got to be parameters around it because you still don't want people phishing accounts,
Yeah,
but or you know,
hacking
phishing
them.
not just the accounts but
Yeah,
clans and other stuff in the game. But if it's just if the game itself for the casual player is really just made for just casual fun, doesn't that make it a little less likely that people are going to put that much energy into stealing stuff if there is no
right.
competitive side of it involved with it?
It's a good point. I have
I don't know. Maybe there's people get really jazzed up about being competitive for this game.
They do, and we'll talk about the worlds here in a little bit because I have some things that I would like to say about the chat on Twitch side. I wasn't watching it on YouTube, but I know that I was kind of going back and forth. But I was watching a horror game on my other thing on YouTube, and then I heard Fatal say the chat in YouTube. I was like, oh, okay. So I had it on this screen. And I was like, oh, they're just talking about this team. I don't care. Go back to my horror game. So
And we're gonna tease that for the later segment, but I
yes,
have a question for you.
what's up, buddy?
Just popped in my head.
Okay.
So, the whole premise of Clash of Clans in the game, part of the economy that helps grow Supercell are micro purchases, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's here's the game. Let me get you into it by, a quick tutorial. Let me get you some progress into the game that makes you feel like it's quick and that, by playing it you can get to a certain level. And then let's draw out those upgrade times. Let's make the game increasingly more difficult, at least in length. And let's try to get you convinced that, okay, a few bucks here, a few bucks there is going to increase your progress. And it's all through those micro purchases. I'm not saying that's a bad business model, but that's what the game is predicated. That's what
Yeah,
Supercell has built their
that's how they make
their
the
uh,
majority of their money.
their money off
Yeah.
of, right? Do you think that, as opposed to traditional games where once you buy the game, like you're in it, right?
Yeah.
Like there's in the traditional sense, most games, like if you buy Madden, once you have Madden, like you've got it, right? You got the
Yeah.
whole thing. You might have to pay to play online, depending on what console you're on, but it's pretty much it. If you want to play Madden competitively, really all you got to do is buy the game,
Yep.
right? But Clash of Clans is a micro purchase game, so as you play it, you get in for free, and then the longer you play it, the more you feel, I don't know, say attached to it, but there's a psychological feeling of like pulling you in further to the game.
Yeah.
And for a lot of people, like myself included, once you've invested enough time and energy, but also money, you feel like, okay, if I were to pull back or stop playing now, then I might have some feeling of I've wasted a lot of time, energy, and unfortunately a lot of money, right?
Right. Yeah.
Do you think maybe that's part of that same feeling of how it gradually pulls players in, and then when you get deeper into the game, it pulls you in deeper? Either if you're a free to play player, then you are sucked in from your time
Oh yeah.
commitment, right? Like
Yeah.
you are grinding and you're focusing for long periods of time.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not, then you're sucked in from a money standpoint. You've sunk a lot of money and a lot of resources into this. And do you think it's that part of the game that makes it so lucrative for people to do things like stealing accounts and selling them and moving them around? Because it's not just a game; it's a game that emotionally and psychologically pulls people so into it
Mm-hmm.
that the thought of losing it or the thought of having to start over is so. I mean, it can be really detrimental to people. And the flip side of that, leapfrogging past all of that, there's a really big market for that too. It's just, hey, skip all of that psychological warfare you got to go through to upgrade
Right.
everything and just start later on in the game.
Yeah.
Or just start with a max base or with another max base. What do you think? What do you think about the psychology of the game? Do you think that it pulls people in to encourage nefarious behavior like this?
I would say it's. I've known since I've been playing it. I've my like I was talking earlier my last stream, my Town Hall 14 before it was a brand new 13, and I did my first friendly war on Eric's stream, and I was like, I was just thinking about that randomly popped in my head. I was like, dude, I can't believe that didn't that was like months ago, right? And it's a 14 now, making its way up almost not really max. Still have defenses, but it's like it's a 14 now, and that was a brand new 13 at that point. I feel connected to all my accounts, not my, I have rushed accounts, but if if new people want to just jump into Town Hall 15, I think that should be an option in the game. They may have to pay like $2,000. You get a rush 15, boom. You get a 15, you don't have to do all that struggle. You get to learn the game, upgrade, and then when the new Town Hall comes out, boom, they're gonna make more money because they're gonna buy the gold pass, sceneries, because they feel like the game cares. They don't want them to go from Town Hall 1 all the way to 15, and that's gonna take a long time if you just want to try the game. So I feel like for us long players, yes, there's a connection to all our accounts. Like if I lost all my accounts, I'd be fucking devastated. I'd have to restart. But I think for new players, they need to have a way like, hey, you're a new player. Maybe not even to 15. Maybe they give you a way to upgrade instantly to 13 or something. Like brand new from 12, so you can upgrade the heroes and everything. So I think that'd be sick, but probably never happen. But yeah, there's a strong connection, and I would be devastated if I lost any of my accounts.
Think about this too. And I almost didn't even like to admit that this exists, but it's kind of the reality of the social construction around Clash of Clans.
Yeah,
So much of the game is, is from a social aspect, is what can this person or what can this account add to or benefit the overall team, the clan, is it a really high count, is lower count, right?
yeah,
Quite frankly, it and tell me if you think I'm wrong on this. I think that for the most part, interactions that you have with people in the game, they differ in a lot of ways based off their experience and their benefit to you playing the game.
yeah.
And let me give you an example. Let's say I didn't have any Town Hall 15 accounts at all whatsoever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say like the biggest one I had was a Town Hall 12, and we were still doing this podcast, right? Do you think I would come off as a more or less credible source to talk about stuff if the highest level that I'd played in the game was Town Hall 12?
Ooh, that's a good
Think
question.
about this. Think about even in an active Discord server, an active Discord clan, if it's got a whole bunch of Town Hall 15 accounts, if you've got guys who play competitively or semi-competitively, it doesn't even say it's C2J, right?
Mm-hmm.
And someone comes in and they are very active in chat, but again, they play Town Hall 12 and nothing else. Is that person going to become a co-leader if they're 3-4 levels behind the max play, and you've got all these players in your community that are? I'm not saying it's impossible, but I think most parts of the game that doesn't happen because a lot of who you are socially in the game gets tied to how much benefit you can bring to a clan. How many accounts do you have? How skilled are you as a player? And I mean, you have to be incredible, but do you know your way around to some extent? And sometimes the amount of kind of what I call instant credibility that you're extended in the game
Yeah,
comes from attached to where you are or what you can bring to a group of people also playing the game. So again, from a psychology standpoint, if you lose all that, like if I lost all my accounts, say for like a Town Hall 11 tomorrow, am I still the same person in C2J? I mean, physically, yeah, but am I the same part of the community if all I can do is throw in one account over and after dark and that's it?
no.
I mean, naturally, no.
Yeah,
Naturally, no. When someone asks, like, hey, is anyone online for donations? I can't even raise my hand.
yeah.
At
Like
Town Hall 11.
when it comes down to that, like no, because like you'd still have the knowledge up to now, but like say the new Town Hall 15 meta comes out or Town Hall 16 comes out, you don't have the knowledge for what everyone already knows to a point, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, you'd be fucked basically. Like we'd still do the pod, but like when it comes up to new meta, you'd have to either watch a shit ton of streams or pay a shit ton of money to get that one account from Town Hall 11 to 15, max it out, then to 16, and that's gonna be way too much money. I would never put into the game because rush or getting your Town Hall 11 to 15 would be. I don't even want to think how much it would be. It'd be a lot. It'd be in the thousands, high thousands.
I mean, I've done over the last couple of years. I've done with some of the permanent max accounts. I've done like an 11 to 12, a 12 to 13. I'm still like the 13 to 14. Like I'm still trying to finish last couple walls on that one.
Dude.
It's taken the walls at 14 are so ridiculously
Yes.
long. But I mean, I've done all those like separately, and they're all grinds. Like they're all like it's tough to realize how many gold passes you go through that you're
Right.
looking forward to the loot at the end of the month. Because cool, I can finally knock out a big chunk of all these damn walls that are left.
Exactly.
Um,
It's
So-
a pain.
all that to say, and we've talked a couple of times about just the practicality of Supercell making there be a way where you could get further along in the game without that grind.
Mm-hmm.
And you think of all that we just talked about and how it changes people's social interactions with each other, how it weighs on the psychology of the actual player themselves and their mental health to some extent, right? Especially if you're a super invested player. How much of that could just be relieved if there was a safe mechanism to, and maybe it's not like, oh yeah, you could buy a maxed account. And maybe in order to protect the micro purchases that Supercell needs, they just make it like you could buy a max 13 or even a 14 or something like that. And then you would still need to do your own upgrades to max out or purchase the micro purchases to move it from there.
Mm-hmm.
But at least something to relieve that fear of just completely starting over or completely losing your social standing in the group you run with,
Right.
or just, relieving some of the stress around that aspect of it altogether. And oh, by the way, a way for a company that they love micro purchases over the long haul. But if it's not a micro purchase, if it's a bigger purchase at one time, how many people are going to buy a Town Hall 12, Town Hall 13 because they want to skip all the upgrade stuff, and then they're going to get it, and then a month or two later going to realize, I don't have time to play this game anyway, but they've just already spent that much money to get that account, and Supercell's actually had to do absolutely nothing to get it.
Exactly. I guarantee you, if they did a pack where you get say you get either a nearly or just a new Town Hall 13 pack, right, for 100, maybe $200, or a max Town Hall 14 for $300 or $400, there's gonna be new people that are gonna just buy those. Shit, I'd go out and buy one of those now, just so I have another 14. Like, who wouldn't? They'd get so much more money if they did that.
You gonna go sell your body on the street to get another 14?
No, I wouldn't do that. I mean, 20's 20, but no, I got to go sell my body to make that wedding in February. So
Yeah, $20 is $20. Okay.
I got to buy the airfare today or sometime this month, and then
Where's it gonna be at?
Chicago.
Chicago?
If I buy the airfare now, it's only like 100 and something bucks. So I have to try to do that. I'm gonna do some Uber Eats, sell some other game collecting things I have to just get the money,
Chicago.
just to get
You
that.
Do you get a +1?
I could bring a +1, but I already told the person no.
You know what? We could go. We get matching suits. So you get the baby blue. I'll get the orange one with the top hats.
If you want to, I could tell them that I got a +1.
You go in there playing swords with our canes.
Yeah, Dumb and Dumber. Let's go.
Nice set of Hooters you got there.
Rick said, "What I missed? Not much. A lot. We're an hour in now, so you missed
We're
more
actually still on the first topic.
That's a good thing about the Clashuals. We don't care how long it goes. Okay. All right.
Good old Chicago.
good old Chicago. Um. Anyway, you go ready to go to the next topic? Even though
Yeah,
we talked about that for a
we
little.
can. I guess we can
We
move
kind
on.
of made a point on this, but they made a new update that made, I think it's like 11 to 14 easier. I still haven't found 14 easier because my 14's crap. Upgrading heroes, so you can't really do a hybrid or not Hydra with your warden down. So, um, what do you think about the update making the lower town halls being a bit easier? And apparently during World Chat, Itsu said they might do an update on 15 to make it easier after
Yeah,
World.
that's so. I read some of Darian's comments. I think this was from Twitter, if I'm not mistaken. And honestly, there was so much when they announced that it was all over the place. I know
Yeah,
we talked about it a lot in the Discord servers, like everyone was talking about it. So I'm gonna forget where all I read this from, but I know I read that, or at least I heard that the anticipation was lowering or kind of nerfing some of the defenses through Town Hall 11, 12, 13, 14 is going to help pave the way for them to do some of that for 15 as well. Because I think they're still of the mindset of for the overall betterment of the game, they've got to do something to help offense even more than they did in the last update. And I know there was a lot of people that were happy with the offensive change last update
yeah,
for at least for Town Hall 15 players, and I do think that helped. Um, but I mean, shout out to our buddy Magic, who had those great stats showing the 1 star, 2 star, 3 star rates. If you're listening to this and you haven't seen those, if you're listening to a recording and you haven't seen those, you know, try to find them. I'm not sure where all we've got them. They're posted somewhere in the C2J Discord server. Um, but it was showing the hit rates of all players over, I think it was around the last month or something like that, but just thousands and thousands of hits. And it was just showing just how truly rare in the game 3 stars
yeah.
is to obtain. I mean, the number was microscopic, but then the 1 star rate was super high. And I think, those Supercell guys being really analytical, they're looking at that and going, yeah, we've still got to shift stuff to help out the casual player. And quite frankly, I feel really vindicated about this. I know we're going to talk about the lower town halls, those adjustments, my opinion on that here in just a second, but I feel really vindicated because we've said, and me personally, I've
Yep.
said plenty of times, um, I felt like when they did Town Hall 15 or when it first came out, they did it listening way too much to a small group of the players. Players
Yeah.
who are really, really good. Guys who, listen, if I'm being completely honest, yeah, they deserve to have some influence because those are all guys who are not just really good, but they've got long term investments in the game. Problem with that is, as we've said plenty of times, that's such a small percentage of the overall players.
Hmm.
And I'm wondering how that's affecting the actual economy of the game or the revenue building of the game because the top town hall play has it's been so much more difficult than the last one. I get wanting to make it a tougher town hall meta than town hall 14 because everyone, I don't want to say everyone, but a lot of people talk about how much easier that one was, and I
Yeah.
think that was good for the casual players of town hall 14. But this is clearly them still trying to bring it back
Yeah.
towards the casual player and their offensive and just their general good feeling about the game. And I think that's got to be money driven. Like we said earlier,
Oh, hands
they're
down.
driven by micro purchases, right? And people who don't feel like they get any enjoyment out of the game are not spending an extra $4 to buy a rune of whatever and a book of heroes, right?
Hmm.
They're not doing it if they feel like, I can have 20 more levels of my hero and I'm not going to be any better than I am right now.
Yeah. It's I agree. Like I get it. They're making it easier, but they're doing it like you said for the micro purchases. Those 14s and everything else. I'm surprised they did it because obviously have these new players that are getting to like Town Hall 12, 11, 13 are new players of 14. Rip Ghost Knight for updating his account to 15 because he missed that opportunity. But But yeah, I think it's cool that they're making them easier. But again, do they really need to do that to 15? I don't think they do. I find it entertaining watching. Speak of it today, Worlds. You don't see perfect wars as much anymore. I like it more challenging. On my point of view, leave it how it is. I know when you get more into the town hall levels, 16, 17, whatever, maybe do it for 15 and 16, but keep how difficult it is now because I'm I'm back when 14 was the main thing. I was sick of seeing 15 to 14 wars. Now you get like 13 to 12 or 13 to 13 and they win on percentage. It's more entertaining to me instead of seeing 15 this clan did a perfect war, but this clan effed up and missed 1 star. Like it's more entertaining, keeps you on your toes if it's harder to 3 star at 15.
Did you ever play any like sports video games growing up?
Yeah,
Like NHL, whatever.
you just named it. NHL.
Okay.
Played it on the PS2, played it on the 64.
In those games,
Uh-huh.
when you played, did you ever create your own player on any of those games?
Not until I got into it on the 360 with my homies. Or I
Okay.
create my own guy. And then recently in the newer games, because the older ones, obviously, you could only like name him, put his height or whatever, your what position you're in. The newer ones, you can actually have attributes on it. So yeah.
So when you go to set your attributes with a brand new player, like if you're making yourself in the game, do you make your attributes where you suck or are you like the best player in the game?
Well, the only thing I match with my personal hockey skills is speed because I'm fast as fuck. So I make my guy fast. I make him bigger than me because a 5'4" player is not the best. So I make him fast, big, and good with the wrist shot. Is all I do. I don't make him like the all time. I don't like go to YouTube. What's the best attributes for this
You
position?
mean
And
you don't just like scoot them all the way over to like 99 on everything?
you can't. They
Oh.
so you only have like so for like defense attributes you only have so much. So the ones I personally suck at, I down those ones and up the ones I'm good at. Offensive, I do speed and puck control and wrist shot, and then you have so many other things that I've obviously hasn't played the game in years. I do want to play it again, but I can't stream that game because my friends
So
say some bad shit.
I was asking that question because I knew that you would say that yeah, at some point in time you created your own player and you made it you and you made yourself badass in the game. Because that's what I do every time. Every EA sports game I've ever played, whether that was FIFA or that
Uh-huh.
was NCAA whatever or Madden or even all the way back to primetime NFL on Sega Genesis that I played a long time
Let's
ago.
go.
Create your own player. I was always a perfect rating on everything, meaning I could step in and be the kicker and be the best kicker in the game as well. Um, but there's a reason that people do that,
Yeah.
right? Because they want to see themselves succeed.
Hmm.
Sometimes playing video games is, you get to experience things that as a normal athlete or player you wouldn't get to.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of those same sentiments with just generally players playing the game. And do you want it challenging? Yeah, but do you want it so challenging that you can't figure out to be successful? Well, no. And I think that's still generally where most of the players at Town Hall 15 are,
Yep.
where they wish they could create their own player a little bit in the game of their own troop
Yeah.
to just kind of give them a little bit of cheat codes every once in a while. They could just knock the shit out of another Town Hall 15 really good about it. And the fact that so many of them just never do, I think it's making them feel like, all right, I'm gonna go play another game where I can create my own player. And I do think there's a lot of people that play games out there, to actually test their
Uh-huh.
skills, be competitive, want to get better. But then there's a lot of ones that just I think maybe even dare I say the majority of them, like they want to just be good, and not a lot of them want to have to put a lot of effort into being good. They just want to be good.
Yeah. I mean, when I
And I
first
think
sorry,
I
go
think
ahead.
that's why they're still trying to balance it better for the
Okay.
average player.
Makes sense. I mean, when I first played NHL, obviously, I didn't know the stats, so I like came up with my own name, but I didn't make my player like so good. You know, I use my own name and stuff, but I didn't make them like outrageously good because there's only so much you can do in a NHL when you're in a club playing online. If you're playing solo, yeah, you can make your guy top 99 overall, but yeah.
I want you to know, just for the sake of this
But I agree with what you
conversation,
said.
there was a time when I had NHL, whatever year it was, I had it downloaded on a PC I used to have, and I did play that game because actually on PC I was actually pretty good with it. Um, but you better believe I had me in the game playing, and I mean, I was absolutely badass. I mean,
So
I was just checking people left and right. I'd shoot it from halfway up the ice and send it in the net. Like you
I
couldn't guard me.
I wish they had NHL on the PC again. They used to have it, but now it's only on consoles. But
It was whatever the EA version was.
yeah, I yeah. Well, EA still makes it, but go ahead and mention that.
Yeah, Fan was saying that Cadil has retired. Who I think he was on God, was he on Bad Zinger? That Bad Zinger team that won 40 straight, and then got eliminated from the World Qualifier today.
Rip.
Should we just? I mean, should we just segue onto Worlds real quick because
Yeah,
we've been
let's
talking
go. Yeah.
about Worlds of the Balance for so much, but I had the list of the final qualifiers for the final 16. I had it. Where did it go? Here it is. So next weekend will be stage 4, and then the weekend after that is stage 5. Obviously, stage 5 is on October 14th. That'll be in the morning, and as that's winding down and we're getting the final 4 qualifiers, that'll also be correlation to the start time of the Pod Wars, also streamed live on Twitch by myself and ClashFan9 here. But the final 16 that we're down to, remember these 4 teams will get qualified for the actual World Tournament. We've got in the final 16, we've got some of the usual suspects and Clash Champs and Strut, who have been there before. We've got other powerhouses like VN Esporting is in there. And quite frankly, the names of a lot of these other ones aren't some of the traditional teams, but I know a lot of there's some of these teams that have players that were playing on some other big name teams, and I think some of them had to join up together because of the whole passport issue.
Yeah.
So not all of them are playing on the normal competitive name team that they normally play on. But otherwise, we have I'm gonna butcher this name, Egnistars, who I wasn't familiar with. Fade was telling me yesterday that was the old, I think, I forgot the name he told me. I think. Anyway, they've played under other names before. Unicorns, something unicorns, and United. Obviously, we mentioned they're in there as well. Early Attacks, which has a bunch of good players in it. TPM Esports, Time to Throw, which is predominantly North American. It's got
Erica's the
some of those
manager of
guys
that, by the way.
Is she really?
Yeah,
Time to Throw.
I think.
HS Esports, VN Ace, Dark Phoenix, NJ Flex, ETX Titans. I always forget how to pronounce this. Millisime SG, not MG, SG.
Yep.
They actually eliminated the MG team, which is the old Mutaba Esports team, the old
Okay.
MCES. That's the tryhard team. They eliminated them, so they're actually out of it. Kind of an upset. VN Esporting, we already said. Tirarit Warrior, talked to them a couple pods ago. They're the Filipino team. And then No Limit.
Oh,
So,
the Tirek team or whatever.
yeah, Tirarit.
Tirek.
Tirarit.
Dude, can I make a?
Tirarit Warrior.
I didn't mean to cut you off, but Erica was trying to pronounce that, and she's like, I can't. She kept trying to pronounce it. I was like, I had the same problem. I just Big B and or you and Zero trying to correct me on how to say it. I was like, I give up.
I mean, I don't know
Tirarit.
if I'm pronouncing it right, but
I-
I know
I-
that there's like an extra ear in it, so it's like Tirarit.
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 What about Terrorit?
Well, it's yeah. I mean, I guess it could be. I don't know.
I don't know. It's Filipino, but yeah. I know watching the Worlds today. Were you watching on YouTube or Twitch? I don't.
I was
remember.
watching on YouTube because I was watching
Okay.
the living room one on the computer.
So I was watching on Twitch, and when that first started, I was up at like 5:30, and I was like, "Fuck it, might as well get up." Yes, after drinking almost a full bottle of vodka last night. I woke up just sitting there chilling, and I was watching it, and everyone, and even in the Twitch, I was like, TWOB, TWOB, blah 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 blah. Same in, YouTube's a little more toxic when it comes to Clash of Clans, and I love it. Like me, you, and Fatal both agreed, all agreed. We'd love to see that clan get kicked out, and they did. Because I love going against other people. Like, oh, we want this team. It's like, dude, this team is not that great. I get it. They're from India. They have some good content creators. Blah blah blah. I'm glad they got knocked out, and I'm excited to see next weekend who gets knocked out because I don't know. It's interesting.
Well, here's the thing. TWOB is like, what's a good correlation? It's like being a Philadelphia Eagles fan in the NFL or being like a Detroit Red Wings fan in the NHL.
Oh,
The fans are
okay.
just really annoying.
Okay. You should have said Phoenix Coyotes because those fans are dumb as
That's
fuck.
fine. Well, also, but how many Phoenix Coyote fans are there actually? Like the thing about TWOB is they have a lot of fans. They're just they're pretty annoying.
Yeah.
And most of them are there because Summit does content creation. He's got he's got one of the most followed YouTube channels for Clash of Clans, I think, in the entire world. I think he's like top 5 as far as like total subscribers. And he does a really good job. I actually think he's a pretty good player, although he laid a couple eggs in today's war. But and I think that's a good team. I think if the team didn't have the same following, we'd probably think about them a little bit differently. But they do have some of the most vocal, and I'm sorry if you're out there and you're listening to this from India, some of the most annoying fans in chat. Just
Yes.
they got that mob mentality, and if you say anything remotely like non super positive about TWB, then they all just try to jump in and gang up on you. They're a pack of rabid animals.
I say bring it on, man.
And well, they needed to be put down, and today they
Yeah.
got put down. So we've given them their vaccination. They're no better than 24th best in the world,
Right.
which is probably about where they should be. They're not a bad team, but and luckily we don't have to deal with the fans for those teams anymore. I will say this: I said for a long time that I thought earlier in the year there were a lot of those Indian teams that were having a lot of success.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, and maybe someone, Fatal, if you're listening, maybe you can correct me. I don't think any of the remaining teams are predominantly Indian based, and we're down to the top 20. And if you'd have told me that at the beginning of the year, I probably would have been surprised that you would get down this far. Again, not knowing about the passport thing, because I think that took a few of them out of it.
Yeah.
But the getting this far in it and not having Indian teams, based off how they were playing earlier this year, a little surprised by that. But I also got to say, like, if you had told me to pick like the top 20 at the beginning of the year, some of these names I wouldn't have even known to include.
Right.
Quite frankly. Although when I watched them this weekend, almost every one of these teams has a player or two that I know or have heard of, and some of them I'm like, okay, this is really just part of this team. They're just all playing under another name for this tournament. But
well,
anyway.
It's bad when like I was on the Twitch side and there's like 800 people watching the Twitch stream, and they suck at Twitch because it lags so much on Twitch for some dumbass reason. But there's like so many people and they're saying, "Oh, TWOB, TWOB," and there's like the other half people like, "Nah," and they got so mad. And another thing, the Clash of Clans moderators delete the stupidest messages, just plain messages about casters, and it's like deleted for no reason. Get better mods. Who gives a shit?
Did someone mention she who will not be mentioned?
Who?
She who will not be mentioned. Did she get mentioned in the chat?
No one mentioned Lady B, but it was like it was one message, like it was Eric and Itsu commentating the war, and they were like, "Oh, is that Itsu or Woody?" And that got deleted. And then asked another question.
Yeah, no one wants to get accidentally.
Yeah, and then
no one wants to like accidentally be called Woody. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Well, yeah, and then they deleted that, and then they kept asking the question, and a lot of people kept asking the question. By the way, we just got rated by the person, if I can say it,
by the OG himself.
By the OG, blame Adam. come to the podcast, Blame Adam. We want you as a guest.
Yeah, you can come on and talk with us sometime.
Yeah, and you can be a guest in the Pod Wars. There you go.
Ooh, yep. Sign up.
Thank you for the raid, Blame Adam. I know I'm not allowed to read chat sometimes, but when it comes to a raid, let's go, baby. All right, back to what we were talking to.
But now we've got all these raiders and viewers. I mean, this really is a great segue for us to talk about the Pod Wars and where we're at with everything.
Yes. Let's go. Send it off because it's your idea, Big B. Send it. Let's go.
I mean, it is my idea. It's one of the best ideas I've ever had. I mean, I don't know. I've had a lot of great ideas, so there might be a lot to compare to.
Wait.
But October 14th. What, Adam?
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was going to say, I'm super glad how much hard work you put into this. If you didn't come with this idea and it was just on me, it would have been fell through. So I'm glad you put the work into this.
It's a team effort. I can't make good intro videos, right?
It didn't take me that long, but yeah. Thank you for getting the new graphic, and your graphic was good too. But thank you for putting the hard work for setting this up. Go ahead, send it off for the new raiders that just came in chat, and hopefully Blame Adam can hear this too.
So hopefully everyone who's raiding in is a fan of the competitive Clash scene, because on October 14th is the day that Clash of Clans is hosting that final. I think it's stage 5, the final qualifier before the World Tournament. So by the time they're through casting on October the 14th, we'll know who the 8 teams are that are going to the World Finals in Helsinki. But on that same day, immediately following, in fact, as that's wrapping up, there's going to be something else going on Twitch. We are hosting an event on Twitch that we are calling the Pod Wars, and it's involving people who are part of the podcast Clash of Clans community. So these are people who work on other podcasts either as hosts or they're frequent guests. Some of them are just people who help manage and moderate some of the communities around some of the Clash of Clans podcasts out there, but there's a lot of really good ones out there. A lot of them that are, and you can download them anywhere on Spotify, on Apple Music. They're everywhere that you would listen to podcasts or, quite frankly, music anyway.
Yep.
But the podcasts are all over the place, and we are doing this event immediately following the World Qualifiers, the last World Qualifiers, so that we can bring some notoriety to it and also have a little bit of fun. There's going to be tons of giveaways. Guys, if you're out there listening, if you're one of the Raiders in and you need a gold pass this month, or if you would like a chance to win that big old chest of gems, and I'm talking that $100 one, we're going to be doing drawings for those during the stream that's going on the 14th.
Yep.
It's going to be a long one. I mean, we could be on streaming for 6, 7, 8 hours, depending on how many people sign up. It could be even longer than that. Yeah. But after every guest we have on, we're going to be doing a drawing for a gold pass giveaway. So we're going to be spending hundreds of dollars in gold passes that we're giving away. But we want people to come out. The whole premise of it is all of these other people who work in Clash of Clans podcasting are going to come on with us live. We're going to talk about their podcast just a little bit, not a long, in-depth conversation, but we're going to do a little bit of promotion about what they do, how they help, how they got involved in Clash. And then we are doing this around an actual war. There's going to be teams, and there's going to be a little bit of try-hard. There's going to be a little bit of, oh my gosh, we suck at this game. But at the same time, there's going to be me, and there's going to be ClashFan9 on the stream with them in their ear, letting them talk through what their plan for the attack is in war. Yep. And if you haven't listened to one of our podcasts before, one of the things we love to do is second guess everything.
Yep.
And some of these podcasters out there who are really good players of the game, they're going to be put to the test, because not only do they have to hit someone else's base live in front of everyone else like the pro players do, but me and Adams get to be their spotters. And we're not necessarily invested in their success in those hits. We're more in it for the lulls. So the premise is they've got to do the best they can with Adams and I giving them the worst advice on trying to how to hit the base. We want it to be fun. We want it to be entertaining. We hope that everyone laughs a ton at it. It's going to be hysterical watching everyone fail miserably on it.
Thanks.
But that is October 14th. We're starting our stream at 11 a.m. Central Time. That's Central U.S. Time. That's 12 o'clock Eastern. That's a couple of hours after that final day of qualifying has started. So there could be some overlap. You might need to have both screens up in order to see both of them, but we definitely want to be on and live whenever that one goes off the air, so that people who might not otherwise watch another Twitch stream around Clash of Clans that are online that day, they might come over and watch, and they might hear, oh my gosh, people do podcasts around Clash of Clans. Yes, yes, we do. There's
Yes.
actually quite a few of us, and we would like to just offer that up to people so that they can see what it's all about,
Hmm.
see what our podcast network has available for them, and then hopefully people out there who are interested in podcasts or just interested in absorbing stuff around the game when it's not normal medium.
Yeah.
Most people, like myself, listen to podcasts when they're driving in the car. They can't be staring at their phone watching a video. They just want to listen to something. Podcasts are perfect for that. I do. I get up in the morning. I take a walk, right? Try to get some exercise, right? Got the headphones in. I don't want to be watching a video or anything like that. I'm listening to something. I listen to podcasts when I do that, right? People when they're exercising, getting that good movement form. That stuff that podcasts a lot of times that's where they enter
Yep.
into a lot of people's daily lives. And if that's not something you've done before, we want to try to introduce it to them. So that's what we're doing with the Pod Wars, trying to help promote Clash of Clans podcast, do it in a very
Yeah.
friendly and fun way, and hopefully everyone has a good time. And hopefully we give away a absolute shit ton of gold passes, and then one lucky person at the very end is going to be getting the mother load of gems that we can give them
Yeah.
in the game. And hopefully you can fix that rush base you've got because of all the gems that we're going to give you in there. And don't do any don't
Right.
use it on the walls, okay? Gem some
walls.
heroes, okay? Get your heroes
Are
up,
your
for
troops.
God's sake. And use the other gold pass that you get to use those gems and donate to your clanmates, for God's sake.
Exactly. And another thing, it's going to be Team CF9 versus Big B. And yes, we're going to be on opposite teams. But again, whether whatever team you're in, we're still going to talk crap about your hit. We're going to tell all the horrible queen placement. We don't care what clan wins, but it's going to be sick regardless. Look out for that. If you want to sign up. If you've been part of a podcast, you're more than welcome to sign up. And I would love Blame Adam to be on the Clashuals podcast. I think Big B agrees with me. And during the Pod Wars, I guarantee you I still will be drinking. I'll get a shit ton of vodka or whiskey, and I'll be drunk during the whole stream. Big B will have to keep me in check, but I will drink during the whole stream. I know you guys love Drunk Adams over anything. So, yeah, it's going to be an awesome event, and a big shout out to Big B for setting it up and putting his own money in for the gold passes and the gym pack. So,
hey, Adams, have you ever seen have you seen those videos online? That's it's the back off challenge, and it's the guys at the golf course when people are like about to tee off, and the guys are just standing there just making fun of what they're wearing or how they're trying to play golf. And the challenge is to say something so fucked up to them that they end up having to step away from their shot and they can't take it because they're embarrassed or laughing so hard. Have you seen the back off challenge before?
I don't think I've seen like a full video, but my buddy sent me some TikToks of that, and it's hilarious.
When you get done, you should, YouTube or TikTok back off challenge and just listen to some of those guys are really good. But I think, if I'm being honest, that was part of my motivation for the Pod Wars.
I love it.
Is we want to do our own back off challenge, but we want to do it Clash of Clans style.
I already got some stuff for Carl whenever he's gonna sign up.
Can we get someone to rage quit? That's really the competition here. Is how many people can we get to back off their hits from what we say to them?
Yeah, if it will be the highlight of the stream if we're talking so much trash about the hit and they just surrender and just leave the Discord,
rage
right?
Quit.
Just
oh my gosh, if someone rage quits.
And by the way, we will be recording it. So if you want your hits separately, I'll edit the video and send it only your hits to you. You just gotta make sure we're friends on Discord, or you give me your email so I can send it to you via email, if you go that far. If not, then it's gonna be a full posted, however long the Pod Wars is, on YouTube, uncut, unedited, on YouTube, the full thing.
It's gonna look so well. We've got 3 different scenes created to transition through while we're live streaming it.
Yeah,
and it all has like the branded Pod Wars logo on it and everything. We went all out.
It's gonna be sick.
It's for the community.
Yeah, and let's do some shade out to people who haven't signed up yet. I know shade out's part of the C2J thing, but we got to do it because
I mean,
I can either
officially
say talk
stating,
shit or shade out.
officially stating, we don't do quote unquote shade outs,
Yeah,
Adams.
we've
Just
we've
as a
said that
reminder,
we've
it's
said
uh
that past podcast, but I do it regardless. I can pull it up right now to see who. I'm gonna get really bright, by the
oh
way.
yeah. I mean, you don't need to. It's the same number as last
Yeah,
time we
so
talked.
we got Carl in chat saying the pod war's gonna be lit. He hasn't signed up. Woo hasn't signed up. Fatal hasn't signed up. We even gave you a pass, Fatal. You don't even have to talk.
We
just have
gave
to-
you a hall pass.
Yeah, you haven't signed up.
You can
Come
literally
on,
go
bro.
out and sleep with any woman you want this weekend.
Yeah,
No harm, no foul. And you haven't done it yet. You've spent all evening just eating extra stuff at Applebee's and not going out and hitting on anyone.
exactly.
You got a hall pass. What do you
Yeah,
sign up?
and yeah, we have Fatal not signing up. We have so many room again. If we have enough.
This is who we do have signed up.
Yeah, what's
We have
that?
Liam signed up
Yep.
because Liam is good and responsible, and he's like that. We have Rick signed up, kind of, even though his player tag is hashtag suck my D, which I don't think that's really his player tag.
That'd be a good
We've
player.
got Knob signed up, sort of, because he
Yep.
sent us a message saying sign me up. I'm not going to open the form, so we've like penciled him in, but not like officially signed him up. And then Ghost Knight signed up.
Yeah, and he wants to attack me. Fatal says, I just want to know what time you guys want me to take because I'm not talking. Whatever time's good for you, it doesn't matter. As long as you're in the Discord, and we
Just
can.
pick a time.
It's up to you. It's up to you on the times. You see the Google Doc? It's up to you. You don't have to
The
talk.
only wrong time is no time.
Exactly. And we've seen a lot of hype that the Pod Wars is gonna be awesome. Well, sign the fuck up. We might even give some passes. I even gave a pass to Pilot 51. I was like, if you want to be a part of it, I'd love to be.
It'd be awesome. It would be
Yeah,
awesome to have him on.
it's like, but I haven't been a guest on the podcast. It's like, bro, you're awesome enough. We give you a pass too. Blame Adam. You've been on some podcasts. Sign up. Come on, bro. It'd be
Yeah,
cool.
Any of them.
Or even be a guest on the podcast. Erica, I didn't give you a pass,
Rick.
but be on the pod. Okay?
Rick goes, which kings have already put their names in the hat?
You're not a
Knowing
king.
that he,
But I mean, if Erica
he
can,
is a king. And if I look up his player tag and it really is hashtag SUCKMYD,
that'd be sick.
oh yeah, jeez.
Um,
And
I
then
mean,
he really is. We will have to present him with a crown for
Yeah.
that, if that's actually his player tag.
well, Rick will send you the Burger King crown, that you get for your birthday.
Whopper, Whopper, Whopper,
But I'll
Whopper.
Sharpie that says Rick King, and then you get that.
Don Rickles.
Don Rickles. Erica, I know Fatal said Messenger and she wants to be on the pod, but if she can't, I think you and me are fine with giving her.
When are you gonna
pass
make that happen, Adams? Come on, like you're the one. You're the one that coordinates
I
this
don't
stuff.
have the DMs. Fatal said she in the DMs. I'm down
You
to.
just gotta just DM her. Say, hey, we're gonna record this week. Just we'll do it.
Okay.
Do it on Friday. I don't know.
Well, I'll message her and find out when she's available. Are you fucking happy? All right. So
I'll be happy when you do it.
I can't do it right now because I'm recording on Discord, so they just see everything. But anyway, guys, get hype, really hype.
Are you afraid to show DMs that you've sent Erica on live?
I haven't
Is that
sent
what
her
you're
any
saying?
Discord.
Ah,
I just don't want to do it while we're recording the podcast
Adams, for
because
shame.
I'm on
For
Discord.
shame.
Okay, whatever. Anyway, guys, get really hyped for the Pod Wars. We're excited for it. Even if you just want to watch, it's gonna be sick. But shade out
come
to
by.
people.
Like we're gonna everyone that we get to come on as a guest after their segment is done, we will do another drawing for a gold pass for someone who's watching. So listen, if you've got 10 accounts and there's only a few people watching, you get gold passes for all your accounts. You just enter the drawing every time, after every hit, or after every guest. Not every hit. That'd be twice as many.
That'd be a lot of gold passes, bro.
I mean, we're doing it until they're all gone. Everyone gets one. So
Fatal, the comment is, Big B has a job. So if Big B's available, then we'll do it. I'm not doing a podcast, the Casuals podcast, just me and Erica with me getting drunk. Big B's there to be the. It's not gonna go good. So, all right, we're on to our last Clash of Clans topic. You ready for this? It's a tough one.
See, I'm not ready for what we're about to do which means I guess I'm not even ready for this topic.
Should I take a pee break? Take a Carl break
No, no,
before?
I mean, when I say I'm not ready, I mean,
Well, do you know what we're talking about then?
yes, I do. That's what we're talking about is what I'm not ready for.
Oh, okay. I mean, I can give
Just
you a
because,
few minutes.
no, I mean,
Okay.
we should go ahead
Yeah.
and talk about it. Then it'll make sense why I say I'm not ready for it.
Well, the last topic for Clash of Clans, we're not done yet, guys, is thoughts on how CWL will go. C2J just went to Champs 2. We now have After Dark as well, so me or Big B will be in charge of that CWL. Don't know why we're in charge, but we are, and we're getting the after overflow from the Academy and C2J into After Dark. It's gonna be sick. But my actually, Big B, what are your thoughts on the C2J and Champs 2? Since you said you weren't ready for it, I'm gonna send it right to you because you said you weren't ready.
No, what I mean by I'm not ready is what I think I need to be ready to compete in Champs 2. Only the second time that the C2J clan has ever made it. The first time, and it's kind of a sad story. When they made it early this year,
Mm-hmm.
that was literally right when they lost Hero, and
R.I.P.
then not long after that, they lost a lot of who was on the roster, and we've been in Champs 3, which is Champs 3 is kind of that level like, all right, feel good about ourselves because we're not in Masters,
Yeah.
but we're not like super try hard to go past that. Now we are, and I've always been told that like Champs 2 is where people try the hardest because everyone wants to have Champs 1 on their clan. So I'm assuming that this week we are going to see a lot of try hard teams.
Yeah.
And what I mean by I'm not ready is I don't want to get into the CWL week and just suck. I really don't want to suck this week. Of all the weeks to like not
So,
like just
what do you mean by suck?
fail
Like,
miserably.
fail, get a 1-star, pull a stream, and
Yes,
attack a base that was already
one
hit?
stars, like multiple 1 stars. Like I'm gonna have 2 accounts in because of the way the lineup shifted. Yeah. I'm gonna have 2 accounts in. Like if I end the CWL week in Champs 2 and like
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the week I've got like 11 stars with one of the accounts from 7 hits, like I'm gonna want to retire after that. I'm just gonna want to like rage quit everything and go crawl into a hole.
Stop
I just I'm not. Everything up to this point has just been kind of like, loosey goosey. If it's good, oh, it's great. And if it's not, it's not. And now I'm starting to feel like, okay, I know I'm not going to be the one to carry us this month, but I don't want to be the one that lets us down.
Right.
And I know, absolutely, I absolutely can be the one that lets us down. I sure can. I absolutely can.
I don't think you have that opportunity.
Why?
Because after last month, what I did and what Steve did,
you bailed us out though.
Yeah, I
got 3 stars on the last day that helped us promote.
I know that.
All was forgiven.
I know that, but
and
the first
totally
2 rewards, I had a 1-star. We had someone we'll talk about later after Clash Topics hit a base that was already hit, and then I 1-starred again, then I 2-starred, and then of course the last time, the only reason I did not drink our stream the last day of CWL was because I got some shade out, because if ClashFan9 doesn't 3-star in the last war to help us out, then he's not the 2-star champ. And then I pulled it off, and that it was middle of the day, just watching YouTube. I was like, I'm doing it now. Did it, boom, and I'm thankful to stream that because I was hype, and even woke up my nephew during that stream, CWL stream, because I got so hype, and I yelled and like, oh yeah, he heard you. I was like, well, I mean, he's literally right there. So I might need to change for the Pod Wars, reorganize my room/streaming setup so I'm on that wall again instead of so close to my nephew. But yeah, it was sick. So this CWL,
you've got nothing to be worried about, and don't take this the wrong way, but the last couple of CWLs, you've had plenty of those 1-star attacks, right?
Yeah.
And we've still done fine as a team. In fact, again, don't take this the wrong way. I think everyone's anticipating, yeah, ClashFan9 is high risk, high reward. He's going to have some 1-stars, but also, if it comes down to the final hit, yeah, he's going to pull out a 3 in the final day. You've got that going for you. I somehow wound up with 17 stars last month, which
It's pretty good.
is uncharacteristic for me since Town Hall 15 has existed. Okay, I think that might be the highest total I've ever done. I played way over my head, and now I feel like I've built up expectations for my performance, and now I'm having performance anxiety. Okay, I don't know if I can fully show up. I might need some help. I might,
If you need a scout, I'm
be t-
down. I might be
it
drunk,
might
but I'm
be.
down.
Yeah, I might need a scout. I might need to get the Clash of Clans version of Little Blue Pill to help me out.
Or what you need to do before you're hit, take like 2 or 3 shots and just let the shots hit in, and you're just loosey goosey, just
YOLO.
fucking send it.
Hey, I keep this bottle handy, okay?
Hey, by the
keep
way,
it I keep it right where I can get it.
this
when
bottle
it's time.
is here, and it was here before the stream, so Screwball's
Well,
good. By the way.
it is Sunday. It's the Lord's Day, so
It is only, we started at noon. I don't care. My sister could take me to Walmart if I need to buy more booze. I'll just walk because it's that close. Anyway, I don't think we're gonna. I think we're gonna do good this CWO and C2J after making champs 2. I think we got it. I probably won't be using Free the Nip Army because that's not really a army you use in war.
Why not?
If I see a good base for it, I will. But I'm excited for the After Dark CWL. I can bring my 14 over since apparently Carl didn't see that I signed up for it, but I'll send my 14 over there. And
You're gonna send the 14 over to After Dark?
Yeah.
I think we're gonna have so much overflow in Academy. I think there's probably 5 or 6 that we're gonna send over. And quite frankly, we've got, I think in Academy right now, our top 30 only involves like 3 or 4 Town Hall 12s, and we have like 9 or 10 in the clan. I wouldn't be upset at all about sending the 12s over to After Dark.
But I'm down to send my 14 over. I'm gonna put my 10 in. That's a max 10. And if we don't have a full roster, I'm gonna fill it with whoever isn't available, and we're gonna do a tax regardless. So
Carl says put your 14 to Academy.
no, it's already in the Academy.
You have to.
It's already in the Academy.
You have to. We've got quite a few 15s in Academy.
I will buy gyms to finish my Warden. Fatal said, by the way, my signups aren't working. Blah blah blah. Last spot. You won't take the last spot. The last spots are for me and Big B. Just saying.
Is he talking about for the Pod Wars?
Yes.
Okay. I thought he was talking about CWO.
No.
Because he always goes last.
I'm excited for the After Dark CWL because it's gonna be easy breezy, beautiful cover girl. I got I'm gonna put my 10 in regardless. Don't care.
That's how I like to play. No pressure.
You just said
in it for the lulz.
What about C2J? You just said you feel the anxiety pressure.
I know. That's not how I like to play.
Well,
I like the After Dark special, right? I like the hey, good vibes and no pressure, right?
It's no pressure in C2J. We made Clash Champs 2. If we,
you know what? Listen, okay, I'm gonna explain something to you, right? And even when she says, it doesn't matter to me, I don't care. It's not true.
Oh, okay? It's all the motion of the ocean, brother.
She cares, right? She wants it. She wants it to feel good, just like everyone else does. Okay, everyone can say, "Oh no, man, it's just happy-go-lucky war. Like we're happy to be here. We want to do good." But at the same time, I know everyone in there's like, "Man, it would be really cool to stick around in Champs 2 for a while, or who knows, even push on to the next level, right?"
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, if you don't want to be the weak link in the armor, if doesn't happen for you, right?
Anyway, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being on the stream. If you guys want to watch Clashuals live, come into ClashFan9 or Big B's Twitch. It's big _Big B_70. for the Pod Wars, and he might stream the next Clashuals episode. Who knows? Maybe.
Maybe.
All right. See you later, guys. Deuces.